Good morning, Mature Simmer here. Happy July. So I'm on briefly to tidy up the fertilizer, and I also just wanted to see where things were at. Alright, so if I pop back here on the map, you can see I've got this stripe. Actually, it looks like, well, actually that corner was over there, never mind, the plow threw me off. So I've got this and this, but I guess quickest way to test this is to just spray this here. See what happens. So let me pop in. Alright, so well, maybe it's working. I was going to say it's not, but it's just giving me first level fert on the part I didn't touch, but the trick is trying to figure out exactly where I'm at, because obviously I'm not sure that I know in its entirety what the situation is. Alright, in theory, that should work. Let me just get this a little bit closer to the field. This is really difficult. No, I'm definitely on the left edge. So I need to move this way, probably quite a bit. So I'm just trying to see if, no, I can't really tell. It almost seems like I can tell, but then it doesn't seem like I can tell, so. All kinds of fun. Alright, so let me line up here. Now I'm too far the other way, I can't win. Alright, so let me do it about halfway in between. Let's say where that tire track, although if I go to the tire track where I was, then that wouldn't work. So I guess let me move it back to there. All of this just to figure out what I'm doing. Alright, I believe that's in the center. So let's head on in. I did verify the crops aren't getting destroyed by going through, because we're at the point now where the potatoes have, I guess, the little flowers on them. So let's take a look. Alright. So yeah, I think it was just because it was the edge of the field. This does appear to be hitting everything. So I'll do this, I'll do the end, I'll do the corner. So we started at like 76.95, so we've put down already another 100 liters, but again, we've been kind of spritzing here and there. So we'll get off the end of the field here. And then the map, so yeah, we've got that. And we've mainly got that, so that might turn into a couple passes over there. So the other piece I'm just curious of, aside from, you know, the game aspects here, specifically to Misty Hills here on Misty Brook, is the Antonio Carrero pack has also come out. And I'm curious, I'm assuming since it's base game stuff, that in theory it's going to be available here, whether FSN made it available or not, but that's kind of what I'm curious about, what it looks like. So let's see. Oh, alright, that actually hit most of it. I probably could have just kept going a little longer and been good. But let me go through here, and that will handle that, I'm sure. Let's see, unless I totally misjudged. Okay, well, it's just not going to do that part, I guess. So I'm not going to play around with large portions like that. So now we'll head over to the corner and do that last part, and then we'll go put ourselves away. And then we'll check out the pack in the store. And I think it should be easy enough because I could probably just go into the brands page and see if it's there. I think there were 6 pieces of equipment, might have been 8. But they're mainly for grapes. I think they have mowers too, but it's stuff, obviously, I'm not doing grass nor am I doing grapes, so it doesn't help me much in this case, but it's part of, you know, the theoretical, or the, not theoretical, it's the year 1 season pass spring release. Beggars can't be choosers. We kind of paid for it sight unseen. We knew we'd get equipment. Just didn't know what equipment that was going to be. Alright. So I think at this point it's close enough. That little spot down by that island is bugging me because that one's an easy one and I just turned off the sprayer. Because when I was filming some cinematic pieces yesterday as part of my recording, my alarm, field edge alarm went off and suddenly I panicked, thinking I was literally at the southern edge of the field, thinking this is way too fast, and then but turned off the sprayer because I didn't want to spray the other field, and instead I turned off too early here. Alright, so we are on the right track, so we will just turn this on and do that, and that should get it all. Beautiful. Alright, fold up the Bredal, or Bredal. Not quite sure how this company pronounces its name. But I am feeling pretty good about the state of the taters, because I believe this is the last growth stage where they flower, and then I think the flowers drop off, or they might not even drop off, and the potatoes are ready to be yanked out of the ground. And once again, I don't care if it rains, I don't care what it does, but at this point, I believe all I'm going to have to do is get the potato harvester, and my plan is to get the self-contained unit, which is sadly almost 500,000, and probably by the time I play around with any options it will be. I'm not sure that it has any options, but we'll take a look at that when we need it, because the time it'll take to drag it from the store really doesn't, well, you know what, I mean, I know I need it. It's not like I have a lot to do today, so I'm going to go ahead and actually we'll take care of getting that potato planter or harvester handled today as well. So that'll be the last thing we'll do, is store stuff, because I've got one other thing I want to check, which will help reinforce that decision, or not. It'll help inform that decision. That it'll do with 100% certainty. Alright, getting pretty good at getting these things in there, although again, they hit the roof pretty fast. I think, yeah, if I stick the arms out, that won't help. I was half thinking if I stick the arms out back that I can get further in, but then I'm going to hit the other stuff, so obviously I don't want to do that. Park my Massey in the shed there. I'm going to take a look at the growth state map. Alright, so here's our portion of the field. I usually try to kind of get as close as I can. It won't, oh, it'll let me drag a little bit closer. So then actually, although maybe it's because it's at the edge, I don't know, because obviously, yes, this looks darker than this now, and that's not the case, but so I believe we are at the last growth stage, which would make sense, and then we should be ready to harvest tomorrow, which is the day we can do it. So that will be my hope. And at this point, we are as prepped as we can be. We don't have any weeds growing. So if we go here, this is the weed state. So if I turn off fertilization, I see no green. So right now I just have needs rolling and fertilize turned off, because if I turn on needs rolling, it'll even overlay fertilizer, as you'll see in a second here. There you go. So to be able to see things I can change, I have to turn that off. So that was one thing I wanted to look at. So yes, that reinforces that we are ready to go tomorrow. So we'll save ourselves some time and have the harvester ready to go. I'll probably even just park it at the edge of the field when I pull over here. So I don't see the Antonio Carrero here. I don't see it under grape technology for some of the tractors. And peeking under small and medium tractors, I don't see it either. So at least on the FSN servers it doesn't appear. But Steam does tell me it's in my library, which normally means it will have been installed. Okay, so as you can see under potato technology, as far as the self-propelled units, this is our only option. I'll show you the other alternatives we have. As you can see here again, we don't have a working with, but that does appear to be, you know, a halum topper and cutter, and then obviously it will harvest. But we can see it can go 15, but that's not when it's harvesting. It'll go 6. But it has 22,500 liter capacity. If we come into the other potato technology we have, which is under the trailers, we've got these two tow behind options where I could put them behind a tractor. So they each require 200 horsepower, and they're each 1.8 meters wide, move at the same speed. And as you can see, they only have 10,000 liter capacity. And then we'd also need this halum topper, as it says, or holm topper. I don't know how to pronounce that properly. So we'd have to buy that and put that on the front of our tractor as well. So we need, 65 horsepower, 200 horsepower. That would put us outside the range of the Massey. We'd have to tow this with the case, and it's about half the price, sure, but I also think it's less than half the working width, because I believe the working width's at least 6 meters for the Grimmy here. Maybe I'm being optimistic, but, I think this is 3 times as wide, and that's going to make a huge difference on this field. Plus, obviously, I can hold over double, so that is why I'm choosing this. Now, as you can see, this is the contraption. I don't know if you could make a more sinister looking piece of farm equipment, as far as something that looks like if you fell into it, you wouldn't come out the other side looking recognizable at all. And probably harvesters are kind of like this inside. It's just, this is all exposed. It's, almost seems like Venter is perfect name for it, where it just sounds sinister and nasty. Alright, enough fun there. I do need to add GPS so that it will lock the line. The wheel setup honestly doesn't matter, although I have been kind of doing Michelins just because. Well, it's possible Trelleborg is a brand you can get over here, but I know at least this is available in the US, so I'll assume it's available in Canada. Can't paint it, can't do anything else. This is what we've got. So here we go. Alright, so 614,000 is the damage, down to 2.6 million, so we've basically nearly chewed up the 1.6 million we've thrown in. So this is a bit of an expensive potato harvest here, but that's not entirely fair, because once again we're going to, you're never recouping the cost of the machinery in the first harvest. Your whole point is, I'm going to be doing this work, and therefore I have this equipment. Now, sadly, because I'm not the most fiscally astute farmer, at least in how I play this game, I've may not do potatoes ever again. I don't know. And then this would be a ridiculous expenditure. But, you know, some of just how this goes will determine that. Now, once again, because we have the group project and we have that Suez Canal building project we've got going on, if you're not sure what I'm talking about, go to the video that I've linked here to view everything you need to know about what we know at this point about this project that we're just starting, and is probably going to go on for a long time because it has multiple phases, and we're just in phase 1. So at a minimum, I'm assuming there's going to be a phase 2. But knowing how things run in FSN, I'm sure there's going to be more than 2 phases. But we'll see. And some of that may also be the determination of management who looks at it and says, wow, phase 1 took 20 in-game years to finish. Maybe I only want to, have the building phase and be done, because that'll probably take another 20 years, and that would be over a year in real time. So that might be a long time to expect the community to stay focused on just a 2-phase project, but we'll see how things go, and things may be progressing at a crazy pace. So I think time will tell after we get through the first harvest cycle how much supply they can get, like from the farms and so forth. Because once again, I've got no frame of reference for how easy it is to get all the equipment that is needed, because we've got thousands and thousands of pieces of equipment that need to arrive as well. And all I know is people who do play meta that I know have told me you can make, billions and billions of dollars pretty easily in meta. So, even if a bulldozer is $250,000 or something, or even $500,000, if you've got $1 billion, you can buy a few of those. So, the thing that is a little confusing is they're saying they're donating the equipment to the project. And I know they get shares back, but I guess my question is, because it made it sound like the equipment came back after, but that basically, like, once you put it in there, like, you did lose it as far as active use in, your other mines and so forth. Okay, this is great. It's always helpful if I get stuck on things. I was trying to, I suppose his field is not something I can't drive into a little bit there, and plus I don't think I guess there's little tires on the front. I was going to say the steering kind of occurs a little further back, and it's 4-wheel steering. You can't quite tell. You'll be able to tell when I make a sharper turn up ahead. But yeah, so from the project standpoint, I'm going to be curious how it goes. I know the project fees I showed in an earlier, or talked about at least in an earlier video, that those have already been met 100%, but on everything else we just had a fraction, other than some of the smaller things that, we only needed like 100 of, which were the generators. I think there were 5 last time I looked, which was days ago. So, it's possible we have all the medium generators we need now to get prepped to build the Suez Canal. And so, yeah, I don't know if what ends up happening in the next phase is simply the work, and that there's not going to be more equipment needs. I would imagine there's going to continue to be farming needs, because workers don't stop eating simply because you've staged them in places. Those would be called cyborgs or androids. I guess cyborgs probably eat too, because they're kind of partially human. I don't know. Way too much of a debate that doesn't really have anything to do with farming, other than the fact that things might be eating. So we'll just end that discussion for this series here. But I don't know. I mean, that's part of the intrigue for this for me is I don't know. And so there's this excitement of the unknown and the surprise, and what will they dream up for us, and how will it be done? So, alright, so if I unfold this thing, you can see the evil wings are coming out. We'll take a look at this before we stop, just to see. Alright, so it looks like there's some little conveyors that came out the side. But other than that, I'm not sure. Yeah, if that isn't a halum topper, I don't know what is. So I believe, you know, the width of this machine will chop, and given, you know, how wide this is probably like a harvester. I know that those, you know, if I put a 6-meter header on a regular harvester, it is the width of the machine. So like I said, this is why I assume I have a 6-meter working with. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to kind of peek at it from here as I refold this. Alright, so the topper kind of actually folds back up. I see now. And then all those conveyor contraptions fold back in. Very ingenious, but alright, but yeah, that shortens the front end of this. But that also means... So, yeah, I'm going to park this basically on this beautiful road that happens to connect field 9 and 10 here. So, it's almost as if it's my potato runway. So, I'm going to set myself up for takeoff with the hope that tomorrow we'll be unfolding this thing for real and going crazy with it. So that's all I have for now. Very short episode. Oh, let me wrap up kind of what was done. The worst job that I could have on this map has been completed. So if I go here, you'll see field 1 shows lighter purple, or not as neon a purple. This is plowed. I finished this in the last couple days, and let me tell you, I'm never buying this field. It is huge. It is massive. It did come up for auction, as I've told you guys a few times. So I did my duty. God's been nice to me. There haven't been any additional auctions that have come up in the last 2 days, so I was a little worried, like, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to just immediately dive in to plowing something else, but it hasn't come up yet. I'm hoping the next one will be something like Field 2. That's going to take me literally like 10 minutes, and then I'll be done. I mean, it could be Field 8. I still hope maybe no one will buy it, and then I can continue to use that as my ingress and egress if I need to from town or whatever, because it certainly saves me time to go here and here than it does to go up here and here, or down here and here. But we'll work with what we've got. I can also, I did take a look, I think I can probably drive around the edge here. So I would certainly explore that before I gave up going that way, because I mean, we do have that bridge there, and it would be a shame to not use it. But looks like it's been a quiet year for folks. I guess he is growing, so it does look like they did get some crop in the ground, but Sears and Swede may have gotten a little busy and may have decided this year they're taking a break. So, but that's where we are at with the state of Misty Brook in whole. But it took me a good 8 hours to plow that field, if not a little longer. I really didn't time it, so I don't know for certain, but it was a long time, I can tell you that. And I was definitely done plowing when I was done plowing, if you know what I mean. So, signing off for real this time. I will see you next time.